Hi there. You can have any answers to any questions 24/7, all languages spoken, all dialects. Plus, you get to hear the answers just the way you need to hear them. Everyone's a little bit different with how they've grown up, their value systems, the way they think, the way they roll. I think if we grabbed all 8 billion humans and lined up all their preferences, their dislikes, their likes, and so on, you'd find there's a lot of not arbitrary, but a lot of personalized viewpoints, and a lot of them cancel each other out. At the end of the day, there's something called love, there's something called your heart, something called no limits, something called unconditional love, consciousness, compassion for all, life, the universe. Love is the fabric of the universe, something really big. And most of the time, we're employing boundaries, we're employing limits, we're employing thinking, we're employing judging and knowing to the preclusion of possibility. We're employing a lot of this up top. And it's a waste of energy to a degree. Now, I'm going to do tons of thinking still. You're going to do tons of thinking still. Thinking going out of the picture for human beings is not in the cards. But there's something down here called love, unconditional love, compassion, awareness, fun, joy. All the cool moments in life happen when you're in your heart. Now, a lot of times your thinking can drop down and you're one with the basketball or one with the canvas as you're painting, or just cooking a meal or going for a walk, relaxing. So there's a million ways to be here. There's a million ways to be up here. Very few of us want to explore ourselves, get to know ourselves better, get to know the universe better, let alone listen. And I don't mean listening to me. I mean listening to those unconditional love beings that are in and around you. I help people let go to have a trans-dimensional, multi-dimensional experience, if you want to call that. Pull back the veil. You get to meet angels. You get to meet guides, Native American guides, guides from India, your passed over relatives, Einstein, Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddha, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, and so on. It's 170 figures. But you can also meet light beings. That's been a hot topic in the news lately with the hearings on Capitol Hill. And it doesn't matter what group, what interest, background you have, and I'm not trying to focus on any one particular group. We all have our reservations about going into our heart more and being more at peace. So I'll say it this way. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason in the world. That defies all logic, all reason. There's 10 million reasons up top that says no way, that can't be possible. What about this? My problem is, my situation is. What about my finances? What about my cousin? What about that group over there with a different ideology than I have? So there's a lot of ways you can get caught up here, and we'll call it stuck. Most kids, most children, most happy people are not stuck. You've experienced bouts of happiness by just simply being out of the brain. Exercise helps, gardening, touching soil, putting your bare feet on the ground. There's a million ways to get to here. And there's no life instruction manual helping us get to our heart more. The more you can recognize the difference, the flows between, we'll call it unconsciousness, thinking, and awareness, consciousness, love, positivity, that is the greatest opportunity for growth for us all. The second you recognize the difference between the two, you're off to the races. You can discover your unique life path. You can get going, living, loving, allowing more, stuff like that. So angels exist. It doesn't have to be a religious background for you to believe in angels. You could be religious. Angels come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They're just here to help. They don't want to interfere. So I'll say it a different way, what I opened up with. Everything now in this present moment is perfect how it is. Now you might say, well, what about Argentina? Or what about Miramar? Or what about this group over in California? Or that group over in Texas? And none of that has to do with the 3 feet of light that you're in right now. Your energy, you have choice, free will, how you want to spend that energy. And anytime you're out of your heart, you're out of your heart. Anytime you're not practicing love, you're not practicing love. Anytime you're in thinking, generally speaking, not all thinking's bad, not all thinking's good. Thinking is simply thinking. A lot of times it's a waste of energy. A lot of times it's resistance or blocking the actual reality of the universe. The fabric of the universe is love. You can have more joy, more excitement, more enthusiasm, more creativity anytime you want. And this can bleed into or permeate everything you touch and do. You can flow more energy like a Jedi out of Star Wars. And angels are here to help with all that, to help unlock you, help unlock all your pre-existing skills. Odds are you've discovered some of those skills during your lifetime. You are an amazing business person. Everybody you talk to says yes, at least for that 1 year. You were on a roll. You're an athlete. On the field, the golf swing, when you're in the zone, you perform. And what I'm trying to say is that that type of flow existence exists actually in every part of your life. When you're on, you're on. And that state of being here and connected to all there is available to you 24/7. So let me back up. We set boundaries. We do knowledge boundaries. We do dislikes and likes. I'm not trying to tell anybody anything that they need to change. In fact, I love doing the opposite. I love not telling a person a single thing. I do say that angels exist, trust that this is so, and your answers and much more will come. So you can get any answers for any questions: career, health, relationships, where to go on vacation, what to do about this big topic, what to do about this little topic. No question is too big or too small. You're not wasting anybody's time. Angels don't want to interfere with your free will because the experience you're getting right now is perfectly suited for you. It's like a Seneca the philosopher quote. You're not being given anything that you're not fully equipped to handle. And you can meet Seneca, you can meet Plato, you can meet Marcus Aurelius, and so on. So this is full on meeting them. You can get answers, you can get hugs, there's lots of humor, you can full on see. Most people need a certain amount of distance to see. They don't want to just see 4 feet away. They need to see like 5 houses away. Once in a while, it's a whole football field away or 2 football fields away. You can see the figure. You can chat with them that way. You can see them in light energy form, angels, balls of light, a heart, streaks. There's 1 million ways to see that way. I've got photos of angels. That's great. It's a great stepping stone. Historical photos of Audrey Hepburn, Sai Baba, the one from 100 plus years ago in India, can wink, smile, nod, move, shoulder waggle in the photographs. So when I say no limits, I'm talking mini miracles, cities, if I said it right, Siddhi out of India, that term. Colorblind people have seen colors and much, much more. The real question is, what will you allow for? So I often start by showing people their energy. That's simply how they're flowing. You're using your energy every second of your life and will continue to do so up until your last breath. It's the flow, it's the force from Star Wars. You can see colors, light, filaments of light. If you're really bold, you can ask an angel to make a heart in that energy, a hummingbird. You can see light all around you, glitter. It's very Disney-esque or CGI. It's really cool special effects. Usually your heart soars, you get excited, it's super fun. You can have angels give you a flower in your hand or a running horse or something like that. There's really no limits here. So most of us are running around very locked in. We learned at an early age certain methods of thinking, certain ideologies, certain organizational stuff, certain structure. That is totally valid. Don't change a single way that you think. But anytime you're ready to, let's say you're going through some suffering, your problem is, my situation is, it's debt, it's health, it's this relationship stuff. You feel like there's a lack of some sort. Anytime you're ready for some change, you can have it. So I need you to consider the following. You can have any answer to any question anytime you want, and it's basic listening. Again, not to me. You just put it out to your team. You've got an angel team, you've got some ancestors or passed over loved ones. They're with you fully. You'll be greeted on your last breath, and you'll have a chance to look at everything you did in your life. And so I feel like the best way to say this is, if you want to call this Earth School, I think that's a pretty popular term. You're here to learn to love more and allow more, and that's it. Judging, even if you've got a neighbor 50 doors down or an organization you don't like or a certain thing you know is bad, the point of the exercise here day to day is not to hate more, judge more, react more, stress more, worry more, have worse health, have less fun, and not bring joy to other people. It's in fact the opposite. It's, again, learning to orient yourself, no matter what you want to do in life, in a more positive way so you can get going living fully. You have a unique life path, But again, you've got to figure out the difference of what's going on when you're up here and what's going on when you're down here, when you let go and go with the flow a little bit. Okay, so let me try to do it this way. And again, I'm not knocking any particular community. It's all communities. It's all structure. It's all organizations, pretty much. And again, that's the nature of human nature, human beings, the whole human versus being part and stuff like that. So I'll say it big picture first. We all have unlimited opportunity for growth. Yours truly, every person listening, all the people that you know. And I'm not trying to compare us all to the kid who just got out of college living in our parents' basement and they have unlimited opportunity for job growth or getting a job, their very first job. It's totally true. But there's unlimited growth. There's unlimited expansion available to all of us in every moment. You could be, hopefully John Kabat-Zinn's not watching this, but you could be John Kabat-Zinn. You still have room for growth, more imagination, more fun, more flow, more harmony, more joy, more zip in your step. Every moment is your opportunity, and every moment and everything you do is a choice. So the sooner you pump the brakes a little bit on the thinking and what you really think you know, that's again, Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle are great for helping you slow down on the ideological roll. We're really heavy into thinking these days. And here's where I keep dodging around. Scientists are totally structured in the way they roll. They can get their formulas filled out if they're trying to discover something. They can ask any question and get any answer. So imagine what that means for possibilities for scientists. But do they want to listen? Even consciousness researchers, those scientists, do they really want to actually experience more consciousness? Do they want to engage the universe? This is a tough rub because it defies logic. We do a lot of structured reasoning, rationale, evidence-based science, and all the rest. Yeehaw. But it's much simpler than people will generally allow for because this isn't about thinking at all. You don't have to resist anything. You don't have to know anything to be able to get an answer for anything. So does the angel community really want to meet and see angels? Does the Buddhist community really want to meet Buddha, Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin, and so on? I mean, the answer is going to be yes for a good portion. A lot of people put their hands up. Do they want to take that single step of just letting go, take a deep breath, ask angels to step in, ask a question, listen? First few seconds, it's your own voice coming back at you. What do you think half your intuition, the good half, has been all this time? The one telling you to hop into the Jag and go 120 miles an hour and it's not your vehicle, probably not an angel. So it's in you and around you already, not to sound like Yoda. It's angels, other loving figures are completely available anytime you're willing to simply park it up here and do some basic feeling, listening, and then seeing. The feeling part's kind of cool because you can get hugs, and those hugs can turn into healing. Some stuff's written, some stuff's not written, meaning angels can alter your path. Some of us signed up for very specific life paths, and that includes medical conditions. I stay out of all the topics. I try to not know the questions. I try to not hear any answers, stay out of it. People write their answers down, so that's really easy. I can just completely stay out of it. It's direct. 49 pages, 48 pages is the record by an Australian in 8 hours. I just checked in every couple hours. You have the ability to listen. You have the ability to feel. If you went on a run, went on a walk, and you're like, okay, angels, give me a sign. That's a great kind of starter step if you're having a problem with like allowing for any of this. But meanwhile, for 12 years, thousands of folks have done this, and they've done it individually, and if they've owned it individually and they're comfortable with someone else, they can do it jointly. So I'm more than super off the hook. Check out my website for photos of angels. There's a few videos as well. It's just angels in light energy form. You can see my guardian angel. She's a silhouette, kind of an orangey photo. That's Min, and she's also on the cover of my book, Listening to Angels. And there's a different version of her. There's no one way for any of this, but there's two balls of light, both metallic looking. You can see smiley faces or faces in them. That's Charlotte and that's Min. And then if you go to my front page of my website, you can see two overlapping white balls of light. That's also Min. So again, there's no one way. When people go to see her, she's very much like a Pacific princess, a professor, soft-spoken. Yeah, long story there. She's light waves of energy and water. People will see her kind of just, I'll just say Pacific Princess E, in a community fountain or standing on a pond or on the far shore of a lake. So she's super cool to meet. This is, again, a direct experience. Right there, most people short circuit and can't even imagine what that's like. But I don't know, a lot of people have lost their like close loved ones and then had a visit in their dreams, or 2 nights later, they wake up in the middle of the night and their grandmother's sitting on the edge of the bed just saying everything's okay, they're good. You're looked out for. So you don't have to believe in any of this. Try not to knock it, though. Try to allow for the possibility of it distantly. How about that? So don't do any listening. Don't do any feeling. Don't do any seeing. Just put it out one way. Guess what? You're already doing that all the time. So this is the easiest thing. You're already operating this way. You're putting everything out in a one way. I'm just going to shoot, fire, and forget. I'm not even going to look where my missile's going. If it's negativity, you're judging everyone and everything. You put on the nightly news and you're like, I don't like that person. I agree. That was horrible over there. This group, that group, blah, 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 blah. That bad sports team over here, but I love the Jets, or I love the Patriots. I love the Dolphins, talking NFL football in America. It goes on and on and on. And that's what makes us so unique. It's the contrast. Let's borrow from maybe Esther Hicks. The contrast, the flavors here is what makes this experience that we have so incredible, because you can go in any direction. You really do have no limits whatsoever. You have to learn how to operate your flows a little bit better. And I'll just call that paying attention. Paying attention, basic paying attention. Understanding that when you talk, it's energy that you're making like a snowball. And generally, we're making an ice ball. And we love hitting other people, other organizations, anything but us. Or we like to dunk ourselves in the head with an ice ball. That's a lack of self-love. That's a lot of judging, self-hate, guilt, all those other negative vibrations going down the piano scale. And then there's positive vibrations. Positivity itself is abundance. And I know we think it's usually financial. We got to have $1 million in the bank and everything else. But you can go in any direction. Money's not bad. Money's a reflection, I think, of positivity for a lot of folks. You're doing what you love, and it naturally shows, and people gravitate to your amazingness, and you do more business. So the first thing to do is simply to reorient how you're approaching your day-to-day. You got 1 million little moments each day. Try to just cut out 7% of your day for yourself. A little more self-love. Put your feet up for no apparent reason. Yawn, stretch, put on some high vibe music, read a book, get outside. Nature's one of the fastest ways. You've got a lot of episodes now. I think 35 have been taped, 27 have aired, 42 are on the books. So I have a new YouTube show, Angels, Positivity, and Love. Can't beat that title. A lot of amazing guests. They're show hosts, they're experts, they're authors, they're healers, they're super high vibe, they're super plugged in, tuned into the universe themselves. So they've got lots of tips on steps you can take on all of this stuff. They've generally all, except for maybe Lorna Byrne, they've all met angels with me, and guides, and Native American chiefs, and India figures, and sometimes they're guardian angels. And I had a guest on who got to connect and see his passed over dad. They all also take a baby step. I light sage, and I blow it your way, and you get to smell it wherever you are in the world. If you're watching this 2 years later, why not? If there are truly no limits in life, maybe there are no limits. It's up to you. What will you allow for? So give yourself a break. Here, I don't have much structure here. My only rule or suggestion to help you let go is just ask angels to make it nice. Be like, hey, angels, make it nice. Get me out of my head. Get me into my heart. Thank you. Amen. Rock and roll. You got to do it your kind of patented request way. So go ahead right now, silently, just put the request to angels. Be like, hey, guys, get me out of my head, into my heart, make this nice. Amen, rock and roll, thank you. Again, own it, set your intent. I'm going to light some sage right now. I do this all the time on the show. For guests, they catch the sage, the smell of sage. Think of it as a vibration. There's no time and space in one sense. You experienced this at university when the 1 hour class either felt like 15 minutes or it felt like 2 hours. If the professor was boring, it felt like 2 hours. If the professor was super exciting, the class flew by. You were hanging on every word and you were bummed when the bell went off. Here's a little bit of sage. Catch what you can catch. Some people taste it in their mouth. If you have to put your hand on your heart and ask angels to help bring the sage to you, as a guest on about 40 shows in the last year, I've done this on probably 35 of those shows, 38, and hosts, producers, audience members catch the scent of sage. Now, we all know it's not possible, but we could spend all day saying what we can't do. And instead, let's do a little living out of our heart. So take a deep breath. If anybody's caught up right now on, well, this, or you said that, but, exhale like a whale. Let it go. Move on. In fact, the key to this is not getting stuck on details. Your own personal situation, the situation of another person, what you know about a political party, the local news, this country, that country. It's up to you to cultivate your own positivity, your own flow of energy, and what could feel better than a lick from a dog on the cheek, or petting your dog, or seeing a hummingbird, or hugging a tree, or watering some flowers, or growing those flowers. And there's a million other ways you could be spending your time, helping others, helping yourself first. You got to learn to do self-love. Here's that sage smoke. Catch a little bit where you are. If you have to close your eyes, do it. I'd say leave your eyes on the smoke and let go a little more. View this as a plant medicine if you have to. But let angels carry that smoke your way, wherever you are in the world. Red-tailed hawkfeather. Just catch a little bit of sage, and I'll snuff that out. You can play it again. I'll tell you a dad joke right now. Laughter. Mother Teresa said laughter is love, but laughter is a great way to let go, to get back to the flow of the universe, to get back to the flow of life that's already in you and around you. So is smiling, so is breathing. What a great way to go. So is stretching, dancing, pretty much you name it. If it isn't thinking, it probably will help you get back to your center. So thinking is the great challenge. And guess what? You can think about it all day long. You're still going to do it all day long. And thinking is not where everything is at. Thinking's not bad. There's a lot of people who are like, hey, you're your thoughts. And others who are like, hey, you're not your thoughts. That's kind of the non-duality of man. It's just like Yoda with no try. And then Archangel Gabriel said, always try. They're both correct. The context is the key. Are you in your heart or in your head? Are you wasting energy up here most of the time? Some of it's neutral. If any of your thinking's good, you're in your heart. That's when it's positive. So when you're creative, when you're connecting the dots and you have a eureka moment, I'm telling you, you're here. So this is all about allowing more, letting go more, and let go of the details. It doesn't matter what the details are. You could be a super stuck person with 16 situations. You got 19 kids, you got 19 dogs, you got 19 properties in foreclosure, you got 19 health conditions. I'm not trying to make light of any of it. We all get super stuck, and it feels super stuck. It feels tough. Letting go of those details allows you to have a shift in consciousness that allows you to move forward, not to the next set of problems, but that happens. We have ebb and flow in life all the time. But it allows you to move forward in life and have a clearer perspective, so your consciousness shifts, you shift, and you grow past whatever those stumbling blocks were. I believe it was Einstein who said the consciousness that says my problem is, or my situation is, or that recognizes a problem is not the same consciousness that allows you to move past that problem. And I love that expression. So we literally end up creating our own boundaries, our own barriers, our own life situations. It might not appear that way. It might feel like everything is happening to us in life. This particular situation over there, no, it happened to me. You don't understand. I didn't bring it in. But if you look at it at a vibrational level, it's a little bit of that Ted Lasso episode 6 or 5, season 3, I think, in the Amsterdam Canal. When the owner of the football team, soccer team, falls into the canal, she gets fished out by a houseboat guy. Turns out he's a Royal Dutch Airlines pilot. But he says events don't happen to us, they happen for us. Everything is a lesson. Everything is your instruction. You do have to pay attention. Nothing's going to go away until you start paying attention and you learn what's being offered to you by life. It's always a lot bigger than we think. It's always a lot sparklier and cooler than we think. And you know how you know this is if you look back in life, a lot of things start to make more sense. At the time, you couldn't get it. And when I say at the time, I mean it could be a 10-year stretch. You went through a 10-year divorce, or you always pined over someone for 10 years, they weren't in your life, and then you look back and you realize now what really wasn't meant to be. The timing wasn't right. Everything is like that. So this is back to the concept that everything happening right now in your life is perfectly suited to you. It also doesn't preclude the possibility of you going in any direction you want. You were thinking about starting up that business or writing that book or doing poetry or learning how to sing or something like that. You can go in any direction you want. I would recommend connecting with your angels or connecting to a beautiful set of angels. I start people off meeting a Joy, a Charlotte, a Min, a Heather, a Penelope, a Dale, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. It goes on and on and on. There's at least 70, 100 plus angels. It's much, much more than that if you count everyone's guardian angels that have come along. There's a lot of angels out there. So you get to meet those angels. You can meet some cool historical figures, religious, non-religious, just like the letting go that I'm talking about is getting out of what you know, out of your head, out of your brain, out of the physical structure, the confines of humanity's way of approaching everything. It's so limiting. UFO folks, I wanted to get back to Congress for 1 second. They can meet light beings right now. Light beings are like whales if angels are like dolphins. And if we're talking the ocean, yeah, I guess they've talked about 50 to 70 different types or species of maybe aliens out there. I don't know. Bottom line is unconditional love is unconditional love. I strictly do unconditional love figures. And what's awesome is they're unconditional love. They're fully supportive. You get a straight answer. You feel it. It's like Winnie the Pooh with Piglet. How do you spell love? Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh. You don't spell it, you feel it. That pretty much sums up the scientific community. Don't go around trying to prove everything if you haven't done it first. So just let go, experience more consciousness. Let go, get the rest of your formula done. Talk to Einstein, talk to Gandhi, have them work with you, get your research done. If you're a podcast host on some alien show or some UAP or UFO show, I'm not making fun of any of this. I'm just saying, meet some light beings. It's going to blow your socks off. I was super uncomfortable with even the concept of light beings for a couple of years. I'd go to my closet in a new build north of Austin. I'd have loving light touch my face. And I didn't run out of the closet and run out of the home, which would typically be how I roll. I'm super slow on all this stuff. It might sound like I'm hyper confident, but it's super safe. And the letting go stuff, the letting go of details, it doesn't matter what you let go of. Keep letting go. There's nothing you need to hang your hat on. When you let go, you're in your center. Your center is bigger than any phrase, any level of structure, any institute out there, any seminar, any webinar, any one expert, human expert out there, any guru, stuff like that. You have all the wisdom within. You just have to listen. And you got tons of gurus and experts ready to help out. That said, make sure you go to every institute, every expert, every webinar, every seminar, and take it. There's tons of vibrations out there. You're somewhere on the curve. Your vibration will match. You're going to learn or you won't learn. You'll learn the hard way. There's lots of ways to learn. There's the learn where we don't want to listen, see. We can spend a lifetime that way. People often spend decades that way. And on your last breath or just on the other side, you'll get a little chance to visit with all your decisions. And you got lifetimes. If you want to take your time, you'll figure things out when you figure things out. No one can force you to learn a thing. So none of this is about control, which seems to be a really big deal these days, telling other people how to live. This is about cultivating your own authentic power, your pre-existing stuff. You're Jedi-like in the way you already conduct yourself. But it is a little bit about less self-importance, the self-importance that man does. It's not up to mankind to fix anything on Earth. Let's throw a hand grenade out there. I know the global seas, it looks like it's warming big time. People are yelling climate change. But if you would just do some listening, I'm not suggesting you start a factory and build an extra 20 smokestacks here. Say it a different way that's still a hand grenade. There's no right or wrong. There's just proper understanding. So more love, less thinking, less judging, less worry, less guilt, less fear. All those negative vibrations, just more allowing, more peace, more supporting others, more supporting nature, more helping all of us grow a little bit more. It's here. Mankind's ready for a little more gentleness, kindness, compassion. I'm borrowing from my Listening to Angels book, written by angels. This is like 12 years ago. I think it was 11 years ago, maybe. Yeah, 2014. What is that? 9 years ago. So maybe 2012. Listening to Angels is probably a 20-minute read, super gentle language, but there are a couple of points. What I'm trying to point at here is definitely in the book. It's $4.99. I have put up new buttons on my website. So if you live in Germany, France, Ireland, Italy, Australia, you've got your Amazon version, your version of Amazon available. It'll take you to the link for that particular book. It's a great book. It's less than a price of a cup of coffee. It's the best value. If you start looking at all the angel photos, I've put them on sale for $3 a piece. Get it on your iPhone. Carry that angel photo around, and a pink ball of light that is joy will change colors one day for you. You'll absolutely run around for 3 days thinking you didn't see that or finding a way to doubt it. That's just what we do. We doubt everything. We say this isn't possible, and yet tons of people absolutely look at this photo, ask a question, get an answer, ask for a hug, get a hug. Put your hand up to the screen, feel the vibe through 2 screens, feel sparkle on your toes, a whoosh down your back, yummy in the tummy, a goosebump on the left arm, goosebump on the back of the neck, feels like you're wearing a hat all of a sudden. There's a million ways to get a hug. You learn to discover that there's more than what you thought there was. There's more than what's going on up in the big human brain. And that's sort of the message here for all the different communities out there. For mankind, for myself, I need the reminder every other day, if not every day, if not every hour. We forget everything all the time. So my favorite non-original phrase, I thought it was original, is remember to remember, if you can remember, when you remember to remember. And the what, up to you. I would say more compassion, more sparkle, more possibility, any answers, healing. Meet and see who your cheerleaders are, who's cheerleading us all on. Unconditional love figures. Again, light beings are like whales, angels are like dolphins. There are some sharks out there, and there are lots of other marine mammals you might not want to swim with. So I guess, why poke the bear? Why go out into the woods and poke the bear? Or why put your focus on something that's less than unconditional love, or that you aren't going to understand ever, even if I gave you 100,000 years to try to grasp it? Unconditional love figures, angels, light beings, spirit guides, your passed over relatives, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Gandhi, St. Francis, and so Mother Teresa, and so on. They just are love. That your situation is already understood, not just your current lifeline or timeline and your future stuff as well, but all your past lives. I mean, you are a known quantity. You have all the privacy in the world. I just had somebody yesterday worrying about that a little bit. You have all the privacy in the world. You're not being judged. It's kind of cool. And you just get loving support. If you want to look at it as an IV drip very gently, you can get big reveals, by the way. Angels can alter your path as well. So there's certain people that are bold about this. They just are like, okay, I'm cool with it. I've had a couple near-death experiences, or I just know life is bigger than I can grasp. And so there's a lot of people who are just like in any other pursuit, hobby, career, sport. There's people who hit the soccer field. They scored 2 goals right away. They're just talented. And I would just call it's a bit of patience, or just a bit of allowing for everything to be as it already is. Human beings have an ability to be in the brain and to block everything out that's actually happening. And I'm talking in you and around you. Love is a constant. Love has been there since the first second you were born. The only thing pulling you out of love is a lot of structure, a lot of human knowing, a lot of up top stuff, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of lack, a lot of judging. And so again, welcome to being human. Let's do a reference from the movie Casablanca. I love this reference. I'm shocked to see there's gambling going on. When the gendarme walks into the casino, he yells, round up the usual suspects, but he also collects his winnings from a waiter who comes up and says, sir, your winnings. So I'm shocked that there's thinking going on. I'm shocked that we're all judging up top in the brain, and we're not even allowing for the simplest phenomena, which would be our collective consciousness, our group consciousness, our personal consciousness, our awareness, to simply expand. I asked an angel once a big picture question, not who killed Kennedy, and not about global climate change, even though one angel said it's not up to humans to fix anything. And I thought that was interesting. It took me years to sit with that, to get really comfortable with it and be like, yeah, it makes sense. We're not the apex, if I said it right. We're not the top of the thing, and don't view it as a hierarchical structure. We just have immense opportunities and room for growth. But so, look, you have all the support and love in the world, but you have to actually at some point appreciate that. You actually have to get out of your own way, out of what you know, to do some basic listening, basic feeling. And so I asked an angel once named Dale, how fast could mankind, if we were really desiring to be quick on the uptake? You know, there's intellectual smarts, there's all that stuff that a lot of famous people do, you know, when you go to watch a debate and everything else. And then there's the acumen at sort of the universal level. So you could take, I don't want to say any names, but you could take the brainiest people you've seen who are at the pinnacle of research, or they're this type of expert that God doesn't exist, or they're trying to prove consciousness exists and everything else. But are they actually willing to just meet angels, light beings, Einstein, Steve Jobs, Gandhi, and get their answers and go through some personal expansion on the spot? So I asked, how fast could mankind, if everybody was amenable? Good luck with that. Every iPad, every iPhone, every satellite, every TV, suddenly maybe there's photos of angels or angels are showing up. How fast could we all collectively as mankind open up more? And the answer was 3 hours. Now, I'm on year 12 of this, and I've gotten rejected, I'd say 10,000 times, but I've gotten yeses, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 times, depending on how you count a yes. People buying a book, people seeing auras, light energy on their hands, auras on other people, auras on their dog, auras on the trees, light flowing between people. Grab 3 people who have seen their energy or see my energy. You can see my aura. Stare at my nose, but go to my forehead if you need help. Even through 2 screens, and this is recorded, see my light on my person. If you need help, here's a basic step. Look at the lighter, just name any color you see, white, yellow, gold, and then ask an angel to put light on the flame. I've had guests do this on the show, and they see extra sparkle. You can see what they're seeing. Why not? You can see my light here. You can see an angel pass through. I've had a bunch of videos this year, last year. Joy flies by. So check those videos out. My YouTube channel is chock full of talks like these. I'm just trying to get that door open 1 inch for folks to allow for a little more possibility. Again, you can have any question to any topic. Once in a while, if you're being too focused in a particular direction that's not helping you on your life path, you'll get told to move on. So it's not 1,000% of the time you're going to get any question, anything. Which bank should I go rob? You're going to get told to move on. So you're fully supported. Angels are here for everyone. Anyone can meet their angels. You have your own personal cheerleading squad. You have relatives who are with you. Both my parents have passed over. Hundreds of people have met my mom and dad. They've seen them full on. I think that's super cool. This is, again, just about a little more easygoingness. Let's make up a word. Just about a little more love and being in the present moment. So you get to connect to the universe without a barrier. You get to connect to the universe outside of your structure. Your structure is so limiting. I'd love to tell us, my structure is limiting. We have it all right now. You have it in you. You have it around you. You can have more fun. You can have more zip in your step. You can have better health. You can have more fun relations with people. You can meet your soulmate. You can bring in that soulmate. You can go in any direction in life. It's not as limiting. Like if we flip this pancake and go in the other direction, if I did a survey says of all the problems in life, I could probably get 20,000 pages of answers in a week straight with my hand falling off, writing all those answers down. We know what we know, but life is always bigger and always going to surprise us. So the second you can just take a breath, release your words, release your focus, release what you think you know, release what you think your details are. There's a lot of people who come to me and they've got a life story that's 18 paragraphs long. This happened to me. I know this. This is this. And this and this and this and this. If you want a super fun exercise, go to the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. Use your first name. Sarah, I love you if you're Sarah. John, I love you if you're John. Look in the mirror and say it 1,000 times, 100 times. When do you start laughing? When do you start feeling love? When do you start embodying love? That'll ignite you right there. The second way is go and write your life story down, but can you get it down to 5 paragraphs? Does it take you 3 years to go from 18 paragraphs down to 3? Can you simplify and streamline? Can you get it down to 1 sentence? I'm love, I'm amazing, I'm a rock star. Everything I touch and breathe is sparkly. Good luck with that. We're human, we know better. But this isn't about knowing. You don't have to know this. You don't have to have been trained in something to be love in any given second. That's why this isn't about going to India in an ashram. This isn't about taking the particular course in California with that one instructor at this institute. It's why it's not about the institutes or these gurus or that teacher or any of this. All of those are still based on humans. Now, still go to the institutes. Check out Omega Institute. Findhorn Foundation, unfortunately, in Scotland, looks like they're shutting down this fall. Esalen had some difficulties, but there's 1440. There's a few others out there. The Art of Living Retreat Center, I think, in Boone, North Carolina. There'll always be some of these institutes, and the authors and the experts and the gurus pass through, and you get to meet them and experience what you can experience, when you allow for some letting go. So trust more, worry less. Breathe more, think less. Smile more, know less. But again, you can have any answers to any questions. So the little book, Listening to Angels Again, shows you how to take those steps, shows you how to go within to find your answers. Angels are ready to kind of guide you on everything. You've got amazing intuitive skills for those who are into exploring what they're capable of. So you can catch the scent of sage. You can ask an angel for the smell of flowers. You can ask an angel for the scent of an ocean that you haven't, I haven't been back to Nantucket in a long time. I'd love to catch that ocean smell from my favorite beach. You can ask an angel to bring it to you and you'll get it. I do that quite often for folks. You can get a hug. It'll feel like a goosebump maybe at first, an energy bump of some sort, yummy in the tummy. But later you can feel a hand on your shoulder, hand on the small of your back. You can feel angel light coming through you. You can put your hand out and have Audrey Hepburn, an angel, hold your hand. There are really no limits here, and that's where this just short circuits all the societal stuff. So back to light beings, back to angels. There's tons of focus on this concept of disclosure, that humans might not be the entirety of the universe, that there might be life outside of human beings. There might be more machines, crash retrieval, bodies, aliens, blah, 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 blah. You can just meet light beings. You can see them. So you can meet a light being named Grace, who's kind of like Silver Surfer, but female. She'll dumb it down for you. There'll be a lot of orange light coming out of her. Angels are much easier to meet initially, and Native American chiefs are much more down to earth and easier to meet than angels. Figures from India, you can meet Ganesh, Vishnu, Krishna, Lakshmi, Rama, Meher Baba, Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, Mother Teresa. It goes on and on and on. So it is a leap of faith, but the leap of faith, the letting go, is the distance from here to here. And this isn't about religious faith or non-religious faith. It's all the same. It's called letting go. So you know how many different people are in America. What are we up to? 300 million, 400 million people. Every single person rolls uniquely with their ingrained set of beliefs and what they'll allow for, what they won't allow for, what they say I believe in, what I reject. And even people in the same church, or if we're all Jets fans, I love just saying New York Jets for some silly reason. If we're all New York Jets fans, very few New York Jets fans can agree on any one single thing when it comes to the team. We might not agree on the running back, the quarterback, how the team operates, and so on. So thinking's thinking. It's kind of arbitrary, and it's kind of cool because it's what makes us unique. I wouldn't change anybody's thinking, but if you could just do a little less thinking, I'm going to quote angels here, 7% less thinking a week, 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal you could win if you would just let go a little more. That's it. You don't have to start levitating. You don't have to let go of all your dislikes and likes. You just have to pause long enough to step back from being locked in your brain long enough to realize, oh my God, I'm locked in my brain. I just missed the flower. I just missed my own dog trying to say hi. I came home. I was glued to my iPhone, which is over there. I was glued to my iPhone. I missed both pooches coming to say hi. They're so excited to see me, I blew them off. We do more unconscious acts all day long, and we're going to continue to be unconscious all year long. And that's everybody you see on TV. That's all of us. That's the broadcast announcer. It's the people testifying at the UAP panel. And they're all doing a fantastic service for humanity. So it's great. We're going to inch along on all these facts and what we know and what we don't know and the tit for tat and the details over there. But at the end of the day, anybody who really wanted to get going on this could start actually chatting with light beings. And there's other people, not off the radar, there's other people who are interacting directly, and that's their thing. But they might not do angels. They might not do fairies. They might not want to meet an elemental or jinn who's East Asian mysticism. They might not want to meet India figures. So it's a big cheerleading squad. You're supported. You don't have to believe in any of this, but if you can at least allow for the fact that you might not be the center of the universe. You have help, all sorts of help. Answers in word form that can come to you, energetic support, or just opportunities that appear in your timeline. You ask for help one way. You trust that you're heard. You trust that you send it out appropriately from your heart. And then next Tuesday, something happens that's really cool. And you kind of get that feeling that it had to do with your request. Why not start there? Why not start with play it back with the sage? Catch a little bit of sage. Why not park all the judging and non-allowing that goes on up top in the brain? Why not just allow for a little bit of that? And I love referring to Disney films, the old Disney, the original Disney, the sparkly magic moments and all those, I don't know if they're cartoons, animated movies, and so on. The magic of life is all the little moments, all the little opportunities. Each moment itself is the doorway to your own heart, to your own discovering, oh my God, I never lost a step from when I was 5 or when I was 14 or when I was 27. There's always something in life that knocks us off the horse, knocks us out of the saddle. It could have been a divorce, a shark bit off your leg, you got into a car wreck, you lost your job, you had everything happen at once. And for some of us, it becomes trauma, a state of mind that sticks with us for decades, trauma, PTSD, whatever you want to call it, still state of mind. So it's just a bunch of thinking. I'm not, again, trying to shrink that down at all. It's totally real. It's totally going to dominate everything you do, everything you touch and feel. But the second you're willing to get out of your mind, out of what you know, out of what you think you know is the situation, Byron Katie's great for that. You make a statement, you're categorically, you know it's in concrete. It has to be this way. My ex-husband's a jerk, and Byron Katie's books, her seminars, she will show you, and 20 other people, I'll back you up on, he's a jerk. All your friends agree he's a jerk. In the eyes of the law, he's a jerk. But when you speak those words and judge another person, it has nothing to do with the situation at hand. It has to do with the fact that like you're a little nuclear furnace and you just generated a wave of negativity. You created a negative wave, a bubble around you for a split second. In each moment, you can create more love, more allowing, more patience, more harmony, more faith, more grace, more hope, more positivity, more creativity. You get all those vibrations. And you can meet angels named Hope, Faith, Grace, Harmony, Joy. You can meet a Presley who came in on Elvis Presley movies. She's the interconnectedness of all. My cat is named after her. My dog is named after Joy. My other dog's named Paisley, not named after any particular angel. But dogs have guardian angels. I got to mention that. And my cat's got a guardian angel named Allie, if anyone can figure that out. My cat has a guardian angel named Allie, like as an alley cat. These angels, I'm telling you, they got a sense of humor. You have no limits. Yes, you can ask for anything, but it's more important you first distinguish again the flows. Limits? No limits. Unconsciousness? Consciousness. Listening? Not listening. When we speak, generally speaking, we're just shooting energy around that is very limiting. So, I'll throw out a supposition, I think I said this right. Boy, are things going to change for mankind when you start to see everybody's energy flows. You can already see them. You can see them as auras. You can see it when the person talks. Does their energy dim? Does their energy change colors? You can see this. I've done this for, I don't know, 3,000 plus people. I do it on air. I've done it for guests or for show hosts when I'm a guest on the show. I just had a couple see the flow of their light between each other. They started with a finger. They each were half the glow stick. They could see their light. Then they put their fingers out. Then they could see the flow between them. Then they could see their energy. It's just love. It's the flow. It's the force from Star Wars. So watch how fast mankind gets a boost when they can see the flows of life. You can't have a bad real estate deal anymore. Nobody can sell you a bum house or whatever I'm trying to say. If someone talks and they're being deceitful or low energy, low vibe, you can see it. Watch how fast that helps change the landscape for mankind. We get to a more caring, loving group of humans. That'll be fun. So look, there's a lot that I'm putting out there. The fact that you can meet these figures, you can meet your passed over loved ones, you can see your pets, you can interact with them fully. I know that sounds like a big deal, but it is and it isn't. This is really hard to do. It's really easy to do. I think you get the picture now. Just be in your heart. Allow more. Love more. See what happens. Practice letting go. Take a breath. Stretch. Wiggle your hands. Rub your hands in a circle. Break all your structure and see what how the universe shows up. It was either The Alchemist or Esther Hicks that said universal forces are in place to handle everything. You only have to state your intent. So by being more mindful, paying attention more where you put your focus, how you're flowing your energy, that's kind of the starting point here. You just have to get to your heart. There are some people running around who say, I don't even know what love is. You are love already. You only have to get out of your words, your thinking, your judgments, what you think you know, and everything will start to unfold rather quickly for you. So have more fun with this. There's photos of angels on my website. There's plenty of suggested books to read, movies to check out. There's tons of shows to check out at my YouTube channel. That's just youtube.com/@MichaelAndreFord. My website, michaelandreford.com. You'll figure this out because you're the only one who can. You have to do your own figuring. You got to do your own listening, your own feeling, your own seeing. So the real question is simply, what will you allow for in life? Forget angels, forget light beings, forget Gandhi for a second, no offense. Forget Geronimo who steals the show. What will you allow for? Can you allow for a little more levity? Yeah, and a little more brevity. Maybe I should have done this in 7 minutes. Can you allow for a little more fun, a little more zip, a little more sparkle, a little less focus on the problem neighbor or the problem financial situation or the lack of a happy job or the lack of happiness in general? Anytime you want, you can go in any direction you want. You can choose to be here and start living again anytime you want. So I hope this was helpful. If you could put a comment, if you could like, subscribe, and share, go find an angel photo somewhere. Put your hand up, feel what you can feel. Do not judge. Ask for the smell of flowers. Ask for the smell of the beach. You've got this. Whether you know it or not, you're fully talented. You just have to give yourself a break, and I mean that on all fronts. Give yourself a big break and start trusting more. Start allowing more. Start paying attention more. All right, Michael Andre Ford, San Antonio, Texas, your American Angel Intuitive. If you liked my Listening to Angels book, please put up an Amazon review. I only have like 23 of those. One's a 1-star. Check that one out. Totally a fun 1-star review. But for the rest of them, they're like, I think 4 or 5-star high reviews. This is all up to you. That book was written by angels. Check out the angel photos. If you're willing to, they will move for you. Change color. What will you allow for? Have a fun summer in 2023. Take care.